Hello, everybody. Thank you all for coming out to the first orientation for Operation Turkey of 2016. We're glad that you all made it out tonight. This is a way more people than we typically have on a Thursday night, and it feels good. This tells me that we are. Yeah. This makes me feel good that we're going to have all of the volunteers that we need to make this thing a success this year. It makes me feel good. I know it makes Richard feel good here. So without holding up anything else, I want to start off with, well, let me tell you who I am. I'm Brian Tolbert. I'm the Executive Director of Operation Turkey. Thank you. I took over the organization in 2010 from this gentleman right here, Richard Bagdonis. He's the founder of Operation Turkey. And I want to start this off by you learning how this organization actually got started. He'll fast forward to 2010, and then I'll kind of tell you how we got to where we are today.
Good evening. Whoa, hot mic. So, it wasn't like this back in 2000. What really happened was I got this idea for a grassroots movement. It was never supposed to be this big. That says something about Austin because it started here in Austin. I was under the impression that I could create a movement of people in their own communities taking leftover meals from their home and handing it out on Thanksgiving. So I was fairly new to Austin, didn't have anything going on Thanksgiving, and my friend Brad invited me over to his mom's house, and she lived in Buda. I told them at dinner what I was thinking about doing, which is handing a meal out on Thanksgiving. So we got some paper plates together, and we packed up an amazing Thanksgiving meal. I mean, it was perfect. We wrapped it in foil, we put some fork, knife, and spoon and a napkin in it on top, and I got in my car, and I started driving up to Austin. And for those of you that haven't driven through Austin on Thanksgiving, and especially Thanksgiving evening, it's gut-wrenching to see what happens, especially on Thanksgivings when they typically get really cold, and that's usually the first cold day of the year. So cold that you often see homeless people standing in front of the bars hoping to get just a whiff of the heat coming out of them as the patrons go in and out, but they know themselves they can't go in, they can't patronize the business because they don't have any money, or if they did, sometimes they're asked to leave. And so I'm driving around and I saw 3 guys over there, and I thought, oh man, I got one meal, like, are they the right folks? And then I'm driving up around and I saw, down on 6th Street, I saw another few men. And it wasn't until I was up by Buffalo Billiards that I saw a man who was in a wheelchair, who was sitting outside of Buffalo Billiards, kind of near the door. Every time the wind blew, it helped him out a bit. So I parked my car and I walked over to this man. And I walked up to him and I said the question that we've asked hundreds of thousands of times now over the last 17 years, and it's the most normal thing. Have you had a chance to eat yet? The man didn't say a word to me. He just sat there. And then sitting on the ground next to him on the cold pavement was a man who said, no, he hasn't had a chance to eat yet. And if you leave it, I'll feed it to him. The man in the wheelchair was mentally disabled. He was physically disabled. He couldn't answer the basic question of have you had a chance to eat yet? And so I handed this man this plate. They put it on his lap, and I started walking back to my car. And I remember the clunk of the door, and I remember looking in the mirror and seeing this man serve his friend Thanksgiving because he couldn't eat it himself. And I started crying right there on my dashboard. And it was the most awkward cry because I was happy and sad at the same time, and it hooked me. So the next year, I went out and I fed 2 people. I doubled. Woohoo! And the next year, we did 4. I'm a techie, so I thought, oh, we'll just double it every year. So then we did 8, 16, 32, then we jumped up to like 300, and then it was like 600 or 3,000, and then it got to 4,000, and then we were like, people were going back to the other cities where they lived. They were handing out meals. Virginia called, and they're like, we're donating 1,000 meals. We're going to hand them out. The college students went like crazy. It was awesome. So I asked this man to lunch. He's my great friend. I love him to death. I am humbled every day to work for this man. May I introduce your executive director, Brian Tolbert.
In 2010, we started the transition of Operation Turkey to me. And that year, we put out 4,000 meals with 2,000 volunteers here in Austin, Texas. After my first year of doing this, I told Richard that, hey, I'm going to take this organization outside of Austin because it's too good of a concept and too simple and too easy for nobody else to do. I mean, you tell people that you want to volunteer and get some food together, you plate it, and you go out and you deliver it on Thanksgiving Day before you go home and enjoy your own meal. So the next year, we grew to San Marcos, Texas, and within a month and a half, we put out 500 meals in San Marcos, Texas. From there, I think we did another 500, then we went to 1,000, and now we're up to 2,000 meals in San Marcos, Texas. So from there, we went to Dallas, we opened it up there, we went to Houston, a good friend of mine opened up the Houston location for me. Then we went to out of state, the state that Richard was talking about. The first state that we went to was Colorado, and we opened up Colorado Springs. That one holds a special place with me. Not saying that any other state is any less, but I worked with the lady to open up Colorado Springs, and 3 months into it, I'll never forget, I was in Houston, Texas. Can't remember why I was there, and I was in my hotel room, and I was talking to her, and she was feeling a little uncomfortable and just nervous, as every leader does when they're opening up their first year. And as I'm talking to her, she tells me, you know, Brian, I can't wait to get out there now and feed the people that I used to live with. Meaning, she was homeless herself for 2 years after being in the military with a daughter on the streets. The beauty of this organization is there's always something. There's always going to be some type of issue. We're in 12 cities and 6 states, and I cannot lie to you and say that everything goes smooth. It does not. But the thing is, everybody works together and they do their part and they make it happen. You know, so fast forward to Wednesday now at the Turkey Tailgate. We're going to start getting donations coming in. Volunteers just like yourself are going to start coming in. You're going to start bringing toiletry donations so we can build care packages. When I say toiletries, I mean things like travel size toothpaste, a toothbrush, shampoo and conditioner. All that shampoo and conditioner in the hotels that you stayed at over the past year, bring it out to the Turkey Tailgate. We'll put it to good use. We also need things like, what else do we need? Combs. We can use backpacks. We can also use sleeping bags. Just think, feminine products. Always can use the feminine products, yes. Deodorant. Think of things like that. Little snacks like granola bars and stuff like that. We're going to put them all in these little packages, and we want to deliver one with every single meal. Whether they're homeless or less fortunate, everybody hopefully will get a package, a care package. When we get them, we're going to start putting those care packages together. In addition to that, we also need dinner rolls. We like to provide a roll with every meal. As much as we would like to buy these things from US Foods or whoever else, our goal is to keep our cost at $2.50 per plate out the door. In addition to the rolls, we also need drinks. Just make sure that they're bottled and can be easily packaged and put out the door. Right now we have Eventbrite registration open. How many people have registered on Eventbrite? Go out to Eventbrite tonight and just look up Operation Turkey on Eventbrite. It will come up and it will, allow you to select which location you want to volunteer at and how many people you want to bring along with you on Thursday morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. Well, we volunteer from 8 to noon. We're going to have a little powwow. And we're going to get everybody, we're going to bring them in tight because we're not going to have a microphone there. And we're going to tell you what's about to happen. And it's going to go a little bit something like this. We're going to tell you about Operation Turkey history real quick. And we're going to tell you from right now, from 8 o'clock in the morning until noon, we're about to put out 2,000 meals at this location. Before you know it, all of you don't know what you're going to do, but you're going to come together like a well-oiled machine. We're going to tell you that, all right, some of you want to be leaders, and we know that. We need you to step up right now. Raise your hand and come up to the front right now. But before you come up to the front, there's something that we need you to do. We need you to look to your left and look to your right and hug the person next to you. And just like we're gonna do that Thursday, I want you all to hug each other right now because it's a feeling. Give everybody a hug. Come on, don't be shy. All right, everybody. So after that hug, I mean, you all have this wonderful feeling now. You all have just connected in a way that is just unbelievable. So now that we got you to hug and we got you all excited, we've got you pumped up, now we're gonna bring those leaders up front and we're gonna tell those leaders, all right, any of you done this before? What station have you run? All right, you've run turkeys. I want you to go out in that crowd and grab 40, 50 people. And I want you to take them inside. I want you to start deboning the turkeys. Some of you might not want to touch a turkey. You don't have to go. We have about 20 other positions for you to do. So let those 50 people go inside and start deboning turkeys. All right, we're gonna ask for the next person. All right, what have you done? Oh, you run the kids section. All right, I want you to grab all of the kids that want to go inside and draw hand turkeys on all of the clamshell plates, position them right up front, and we've got 2,000 plates in there that need hand turkeys with a little message of Happy Thanksgiving written on every single one. Go in there and do that. We're gonna go down the line. Mashed potatoes, corn, gravy, cranberry sauce, there you go, cranberry sauce. Everything that you would eat at a normal Thanksgiving meal, we are gonna start preparing. The rest of the people, there are going to be some people that aren't standing up there with us because they're going to be in cars. They're going to want to drive and go out and deliver these meals. At each of the locations, we're going to tell you where you need to stage in order to go out and drive and deliver these meals. There is literally going to be a mile or two long worth of cars wrapped down these streets. Sit in that line, and when you come up to the staging area, we'll probably have 2 to 3 lanes, depending upon which location that you're at, where there are going to be cars. We have maps that come from Meals on Wheels. We have a request a meal link that's out on our website, and we get all of this data and points where we should go out and deliver meals. Now, some people like to do it like Richard did and just go out and find somebody. You are more than welcome to do that. From what I understand, from what Kevin tells people, the first thing he's going to ask you is, are you prepared to go out here and find somebody to deliver this meal? If you don't know where you're going to go, you can either go to this location or we'll give you a map. We'll give you a map. If you have a GPS, plug it in and make sure that you have somebody in that car with you that can go and deliver these meals. Because what you want to do, if you're dealing with the homeless, I'm not going to say that everybody that you're dealing with is sane. That would be a lie. I want you to have the passenger of your vehicle roll down the window. You don't have to roll it down all the way. Use your common sense, use your judgment, and you want to hand that meal out the car with the drink and a care package. Go to the next destination. If you run out of meals, you come back and you get in line again in your car, and you do it all over again. Now, while that's going on, inside we have this big, long conveyor belt looking system of different food items laid out. All these different people that went inside and started cooking and preparing these meals, they're gonna have this big, long snake line ready for you to come through and get ready to plate the meals. Everybody else that does not fit inside the restaurant, you are a very important component to this piece. We have what we call the line. When I first started doing Operation Turkey, people hated the line. Up until the point that I told them, think about what you're doing here. If it wasn't you standing in this line, it would be some homeless person standing in this line getting ready to get a meal. We need you, and we need you to go through that line. You can take your kids, you can, if you're in a wheelchair, we will let you take your time and go through that line. We will more than likely have 2 lines set up, but you will be able to go through and plate those meals and then go back around and do it again. It's a conveyor belt system. So once we're done with plating all of those meals, then we need to clean up. If you bring your kids, make sure that you do a job that is fit for the kids. So if you see something that needs to be done, go do it. Don't wait for anybody. If you need some help, grab somebody that's standing around right there that's not doing anything. You know, we have runners. Everybody asks me, what does a runner do? The runner runs in between the different booths and stuff, getting food, whatever it is, taking dishes back to the kitchen, whatever it is that needs to be done. So after that's done, you get to go home and enjoy a meal with your family. And I tell everybody this, my 95-year-old grandmother will not let anybody in our house touch the food until I get home because she knows that I'm out volunteering. We have literally 50, 60 people and all hungry. So if you do not get me home or out of that location by noon, I have all of your information, I'm giving it to my grandma. And I'm not kidding. When I first started this thing, I realized I could not do it by myself. There's no way. So the first thing I did was put together a board of advisors. Kevin Grogan, he helps out with sponsors now. Now we also have another board of advisors over there, Rachel Pearsall. She is in charge of marketing and PR. That website that you see, she created that content that you get on there. She makes sure that it's all perfect and she's a real stickler for it. And when it comes to the PR side and having to manage me, she has hell. So give her another round of applause just for dealing with me.
He just wanted a break because it's getting hot, and I encourage that. Hi everybody, thank you guys so much for coming. My name is Rachel Pearsall, and I really actually just wanted to talk quickly about my experience actually meeting Brian and starting with this organization. I had just moved to Austin not too long ago. When I had gotten here, I realized all my family is in Connecticut. I'm not going to be able to go see them, so I might as well go do something with my time. So that way people could go home to their families and I could stay for cleanup or whatever because I had nowhere to go. And so basically I saw online, I was like, oh, Operation Turkey, that sounds cool. And then I saw, oh, orientation starts in 15 minutes. I was like, I'm still in my jammies. I was like, I'm probably not going to go. And I just got out. I started walking out of my bedroom, and then something happened. And I was like, no, I'm going. And I just quickly threw on clothes, and somehow, if there's any cops here, I did not speed, of course. But yeah, I got there, and it was a huge slew of people, and there was so much energy emitting from this stage. It was just unbelievable, and I knew I really wanted to be a part of this, and I knew I wanted to be active and hold a leadership position. And so I waited until after Brian got done with this speech. I approached him and expressed interest in doing everything and anything I could to help this organization, and now I'm here. So 3 years later, so I say this really to those of you, I know there's probably at least one person that is not going home for Thanksgiving and is living by themselves, and maybe they just moved here. And this is an amazing way to give back to the new community that you are going to be ingratiating yourself into with your car and all of your smiles. So thank you guys so much for all that you do. Brian and I and all of the board, we would not be able to do this without you guys.
One last thing, one very important thing that helps make this organization continue. I know US Foods likes to get paid. We only survive off of donations. So this organization has no paid employees. We are 100% volunteer. I go to work every single day to pay my bills, and then I work on Operation Turkey after hours. So we have a fundraising goal of $100,000. And right now I think we're sitting somewhere around $25,000, $30,000. So promises are great, bank is a lot better. So like I said, $2.50 per meal, donate as much as you want. So help us out, help us pay Carl, not just Carl, US Foods. But they're really and truly our only vendor, that we pay. It's very simple. So now I will open it up for questions.
What do you do if there's extra food left over?
All right, the question is, what do you do if there's extra food left over? We take it to various organizations like the United Way, Salvation Army, that's the one that I was looking for. We take it to locations like that and they accept that food. If they don't accept the food that day, some of the restaurants will let us leave it there and we will actually donate it to a food pantry the next day when they're open.
Can I bring my dog or my purse?
You can bring your dog, but you can't go in the restaurant with it. You can keep them outside, entertain everybody, let them pet them. As everybody's standing outside waiting to start the line, you can sing songs, you know, do tricks, whatever. And you can definitely bring your purse if you want to make a donation if we're not at $100,000 by Thanksgiving. So yes. Great question. If you plan on working with the food, you do need to have a hairnet or a hat. Put your hair up in a bun and put on a hat. And if you're going to be working in the kitchen, you should definitely be wearing non-slip shoes. Say again? We will not have hairnets provided by Operation Turkey. We will have gloves. If you are working with any food item, we do have plastic or little latex gloves for you to put on. All right. Well, thank you all for coming out, and we look forward to volunteering with you this Thanksgiving.